Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host, Gamer K, and it is time for something a little different this week. Something a little bit retro from my childhood, and something that's technically relevant and making a comeback. Back when I was really young, one Game Boy game I loved with a passion was the Mega Man Battle Network series. Mostly because I love the Mega Man and T-Warrior TV series. And seeing how the game and the series vastly differ, I was a fan of both. And full disclosure, I have never played 1, 2, or 3, nor have I beaten 4 or 5. So I've only beaten 6, Greiger, and Falzer. But with news that the Mega Man Battle Network game is being remade for console, I am ecstatic. And I had already planned this video for this month, so I had no clue it was happening until like a couple weeks ago. So, it's time for me to go over my favorite NetNavi bosses. Full disclosure the I've never beaten the 5 out of the 6 games, when the remaster comes out, I am hoping to change that. So for this list, I will be going over all the bosses I've beaten. Hence, I never had to complete the full game, but doing each of the individual boss battles is technically fair for this list. No bosses from 1 to 3. I won't be counting final bosses, considering this is mostly a NetNavi list. What are their qualifications? Well, 1, the boss has to feel a bit of challenge. I will also be comparing them to their net operators, or if they don't have any, I will be going off of basically my overall opinion of the NetNavi themselves. So yeah, their boss battle has to be good. Their overall story arc has to be really interesting and have to really make me actually like the character, or if they're a villain, how much I like the design and the build up to the villain. What else? Boss fights, character and their operators. And also to cement I have managed to find my vintage PET, or PET, which is their personal device. I had a toy. This is my toy from when I was younger. So I thought, what better way to do this video than to use this? And it took a long time to find this. So it's time for Gamer K's Top 13 Battle Network Bosses. And why Top 13? Because here at the Game Hub, only the odd can be number 1. So let's get ready for number 13 as we jack in and power up. Starting off the list at number 13 is, all honesty, one thing I really love about about the Mega Man series, including Mega Man Star Force, is that there's always going to be a fire elemental boss right at the beginning of the game, mostly. I mean, from what I've seen, Fireman. Seriously, why did they change his name? Why did they not keep the name Torchman? It sounded so much more badass. But in Battle Network 6, we get our very first boss of the game, which is Blast Man. And the one thing I love about Blast Man is how in the beginning, we don't really know who his operator is. He basically helps long story short, Nan's moving to a new town called AC/DC Town. Kill the I'm sorry. I thought of that when I was a kid. So he's moved, and a new kid doesn't really like him. So Blast Man shows him how he can get revenge by having all the security robots breathe fire. Okay, all honesty, dude. Yeah, even Mr. Match wouldn't go for this plan. It's too simple. And then later in the game, it's revealed that our teacher. Once again, for people who never played the Battle Network games and want to play the future one, I'm just gonna say this. Where is it again? Nope. Nope. Okay, I gotta start labeling these things. Spoiler warning is in effect for the majority of this video because it kind of deals with plot and some twists that probably a fifth grader could even figure out. So it's revealed later in, like, very late in the game, like the section where you have to fight all the bosses again. It turns out our homeroom teacher, Mr. Mac, is... Wait a minute. Match. Wow, that was really... I can't believe I didn't get that as a kid. It is Mr. Mac who is working for the evil organization, and he tricked Mike into basically so he can get a code from the computer in the school system. Long, complicated plot, but Blast Man does have a great boss fight. I mean, he'll throw fireballs at you. He'll send fireballs from behind you. He'll turn out a fire tornado, which will go through the metal block that's blocking you. Overall, he's on the bottom of the list because as much as I think his design is really cool, the fact that he's the first boss doesn't deteriorate him from being a cool boss, but it's just the fact that him and Mac don't have that kind of synergy that all the others in the list have. Also, I did kind of point out that Blast Man kind of gives us a little spoiler of who his operator is, saying that once he loses, he's going to hear another lecture. So, yeah, that should have been a clue from when I was a kid. Oh, well, live and learn. Did I just say live and learn when the villain is a teacher? Huh. Guess the jokes are starting to pay off. Number 12 is a chili boss. No, it's not Iceman. No, I didn't even fight him. No, it's not Freeze Man ever. Although he was a really cool guy. He was a really, really cool villain in the anime. Okay, now you're just joking with me, right? No, it is ironically enough, another first boss fight in the game. So, here it is. We have Blizzard Man from Battle Network 5. Blizzard Man is a Dark Lloyd who does not have an operator. But one thing I do love is his design. Having him be this snowman shaped with ice skis and poles. And he always says whoosh whenever he ends a sentence or something. One thing I love about the Navies is they have their own personal quirks a little bit. And I do like his battle style. It kind of takes the goofiness of Bubble Man from the show and combines it with, I don't really know, he's just really goofy and I really love it. I do. His attacks are basically a cold breath, which will freeze the panel in front of you and freeze you. Snowball rush, where he'll go down a lane and then drop snow plows, and then he'll send snowballs at you in each row. I will admit, for a first boss, he's not that bad. I just really wish that, I'm just gonna say this. Oh wait, were they in the anime? Oh, yeah, they were in the anime that never got English dubbed. I keep forgetting that sometimes. Well, Blizzard Man made a really good impression, and he definitely knew how to break the ice. Okay, did we just rewind a little bit? Did we just rewind a little bit? Okay, what is going on here? I am not editing this, and video editing, Mega Man. We're talking about Video Man next, aren't we? Yeah, I loved this dude. I'm not gonna lie. And surprisingly, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. Mega Man Battle Network 4, Red Sun, and Blue Moon do have their kind of quirks. For one, in each one, you will be fighting in the same tournament, but you will be having, depending on like the main navies that you fight, like the specialized ones, you will it will be randomly given to you during the gameplay, unless you beat the game, do new game plus, and then you go back and you do the other net navies. And so Blue Moon or Red Sun, I'm not 100% which one this one is, but Video Man is it was one of my tougher opponents because I wasn't really good at the games back then until Battle Network 6, where I got really, really impressive. So Video Man's net operator is... Am I reading this right? Okay. Put up the pun. We have Vidi Narcy, who is basically an actor. I'm not 100% on this. And remember, this was way before I was a teenager, so stuff like this, I was really confused by it. So basically, Vidi Narcy and Video Man are one of our opponents. And Vidi gives us this whole spiel about how Video Man is dying and we have to go right to him in the net. And then they pull the fast one over us by pausing Mega Man and removing his code, so all your controls go backwards. So up is down, left is right, up is down is right, and orange is char frickin' truce. So basically he did this so they could cheat in order to win their tournament. Because after watching Mega Man in the battle, they knew that he couldn't fight. So you had to go through 4 areas of the net in order to find your code and to fix up Mega Man. And I'm going to admit this, his boss fight is one of the hardest ones. Well, at least for me, back then. Pretty sure if I fought him now, I could beat him. He'll put up tape around. He'll put up film tape in the front 2 panels that will bounce you back, but they have weak health, so you can just hit them once and it'll go away. He'll do his sidewinder, which is a roll of the film tape, which will take a square perimeter and spin around. He will also take an image of Mega Man doing a sword attack, a tornado attack, a mini bomber, a mini boomer, and stuff like that. So basically, using the video tech dude aesthetic very well. Not only that, but he'll also slow down, or he'll change colors where he'll be speeding up, so he'll be quicker in the field, or he'll be going backwards and recovering a bit of health, and considering you have limited battle chips in this game, you had better use them smartly, or else he's going to basically pause and delete. Oh, no, wait, that's a computer reference, not a video reference. He'll basically make you as obsolete as VHS. Yeah. Video Man, amazing. One thing that brings them a little bit down is they're basically the stereotypical cheater that we get at least once every tournament. Yeah, because we had Sparkman, there's a cheater in basically every tournament. All I know is, be kind, rewind, and Video Man, go away. Okay, next up is another one from number 6, and it's an optional character battle, where in Battle Network 6, you get to use 5 different net navies, some of them that you've known from previous games, and brand new ones. This will allow you to operate the net navi using their battle tactics, and you get to use a double soul, or cross system as it's called. And one of the coolest ones is from Battle Network Gregor. Yeah, you get different navies depending on each game, like all the the last 2 games that you play. But from Gregor, we've got the second navi from the Green Town. We get Slash Man, and this dude is badass. Long arms, green armor, vicious Wolverine-looking claws. I'm telling you right now, this is the kind of dude that would give Naruto characters a run for their money. And I love how he's a sword attribute, and I love that. So basically, for Slash Man, we have to learn how to cook. So basically, we go throughout the net in Green Town, in the net, and find cyber vegetables. And we will slice them up in order to progress through the class. And then we gotta battle him, and he is no slouch. He will create after images of himself that won't really attack. He just goes by real fast, swipe claw swipe you. He'll send out kunai at you. And he'll do a Beyblade spin and into a certain grid. And his net operator, Pat, is actually pretty fun. She's a cyber cook and shows the joy of cyber cooking. I know that's a little basic, but at the same time, it's not. It's fun. And it's not one of those boss fights where if you die, you'll have to start the whole thing over again. These bosses, you'll just jack out, and then you can jack back in whenever you want to fight them again. And controlling these characters throughout the net, in order to eliminate obstacles and to get better information and better equipment, is actually a really cool aesthetic. I love it. I think they kind of implemented and improved of what Battle Network 5 technically did. So, Slash Man, you're definitely a cool Wolverine, buddy. Okay, I just got the strangest tingle in my spine right now. Wait a minute. Okay, so... Okay, what's going on? I feel like there's something behind me. There isn't? Okay, good. XIII Man. One of my favorite villains from the anime. Mostly because Ian McShane voices him. The voice of Dinobot and Rat Trap and Waspinator is a villain, and I freaking love it. And he appears in 4 and 5. Once, and both times, he does not have an operator. He's a Dark Lloyd, and I gotta admit, one of the coolest ones ever. Basically, the whole vampire, dark aesthetic, and I just love his design and the way he fights. It's so vampire, and it's really great. First in the game, he tries to kidnap Roll twice. Oh no, wait, he just kidnaps Roll once. And then during the stupid ass second arc of the 4th game, he takes over some of the machines of the theme park, and we gotta put their stories back, and yet he screws up the end of how the vampire wins in the end. And yeah, tries to get us to use the dark chip, which is a pain in the ass to do. One thing I really love about XIII Man, it's not just his whole aesthetic and the whenever he, yeah, I know I don't like doing the sound effects, but I'm just screaming like he does the vampire aesthetic when he's talking. One thing I do love again is his first boss fight. We can't hurt him at all. Second boss fight, we can only defeat him by using the dark chip. And this is, I mean, the more you use dark chips in the game, I mean, when you get desperate, the more corrupted your data will be, which will make it really difficult for you in the game, whole rest of the game. Considering he's like, there's no real like story bosses in number 4 outside of the tournament. So it's not like you got a lot of bosses to fight. But I will admit, the fact that you have to use the dark chip in order to beat him, it's the only reason to use a dark chip in the game. And then he returns in number 5, where he is a Dark Lloyd doing turn-based attacks. And his attacks are really cool. He'll send out bats at you that will attack. He'll use a sonic screech. I think that's all he does. It's been a long time since I've fought him. But overall, XIII Man, really fantastic boss. Really fantastic vampire aesthetic. And all honesty, one of the coolest digital vampires next to my Otismon. Oh, I want to fight you. I feel like I should have a honking nose, a juggling aesthetic, and basically, okay. What happens when you take the insanity of the Joker, put him into Krusty the Clown's body, and gives him the It's kind of face, creepiness. You get Circus Man, ladies and gentlemen, and his operator, Yukiya. I love this boss. He was one of the hardest bosses for me to fight in the sixth game, and you'll see why. To start off, him and his operator perform a festival right by the dark pit where the cyber beasts are supposedly sleeping. And of course, if you don't know what happens, depending which game you play, they will get one of the cyber beasts and you will get the other one, depending on the game you play. And Circus Man is annoying. Like, he'll say that a good majority of the times in his dialogue, which I kind of like. It fits into his whole goofy aesthetic. And the design is beautiful. A four-armed, floating arms clown with a big torso and a small head. And it's surprisingly a laugh riot to do. And his attacks are all circus themed, so you do feel the whole aesthetic even within the boss fight. He'll crack his whip and send out fiery rings of lions at you. He'll send his hands in to clap on you. Okay, I know that's kind of lame, but it's what he does. His hands will do. His hands will pull the master and the crazy hand thing and do a big hand clap at you. Or he'll jump upwards, land on a panel, and if he lands on you, the big top will come around you, and it will come down on you, dealing you multiple damage. So be wary of that. And I do love this boss. And just the aesthetic, and his operator Yukiya is kind of cute, to be honest. I mean, for a woman who's working with an evil organization, I gotta give it to Dr. Wily. He does know where to find the cute psychos. Now that I think about it, you might be the Harley Quinn of this series. Circus Man, you're well worth the ticket. Now, exit stage right so we can get to the next act. Oh my god, do I love unique characters. And this one is none in particular. My favorite military man, we get Search Man. And this guy is such a badass that they replace his arm with a sniper rifle. And this design is badass in and of itself. He's got the army green camo color. He's got the lens, the cybernetic lens for an eye, the microphone next to his mouth to receive orders, the sniper rifle, which is perfectly designed, and it's kid friendly, so it releases a plasma blast. So it's not a sniper rifle bullet, but it looks like it is, so that's badass. And his operator, Rika from Shara, which is a cold country. And we do get to fight them in number 4. But I never did, because I didn't get that. I mean, I did get that far, but again, it was by random chance that you fight him. So I'm going with number 5 when he reappears in Team ProtoMan. And he's one of a cool character. Rika always being a lone wolf. And the reason they're higher in the list is because Rika and Search Man have that kind of military code of honor thing, where Rika gives an order and Search Man doesn't really have emotions mostly, but he'll follow the order regardless. Except in the anime where Search Man starts thinking about Mega Man's philosophy that not everything should be done immediately. You need time to think and think about things. And that really affects him. But in the game, he does whatever Rika says. And I do, like, he's not a mindless drone. Like, he does care for Rika a good majority of the time, especially when he's in trouble. And I do love that about Search Man. And his attacks are frickin' military. He is so military, Hawkeye Pierce would disrespect him. For those of you who are too young to know that joke, I don't care for you. His attacks are cool. He'll bring up small green berets to shoot at you from holes. He'll throw grenades at you, which will explode in a pattern. He'll lock onto you, and send his lock-on throughout your grid until he finds you and shoots at you from a distance. He doesn't need to be in the same row as you to shoot. He will be on an opposite side and shoot you, which I do love. And then in the fifth or the fourth game, he has a satellite which will shoot a beam down at you, which I don't think is very military. That's more sci-fi, but on the other hand, it's still badass. Circus Man is one of my favorite net navies, even though he's so low on the list, because his boss fight in the fifth game and then the fourth game, I did fight him, but I couldn't remember how or what the story context was. So that's my bad, but because I've only fought him once in all the years I've had the game, so when I get the new one, I'm hoping that I'll be able to search him out. Oh, come on, that was a good one! All right, next up. We all have that one friend who's our rival, but at the same time, who started out as a bully. I mean, Joey and Yugi. I think that's it. Basically, right now, I'm talking about one of my favorite characters, XIII Man, and his operator, Dax, from the fourth game. Now that I think about it, as much as they are our rivals, I don't think you fight XIII Man that much in the game. Which is kind of odd. Actually, we don't fight Glide at all either. It's for the best. It's basically, yeah, for the best. XIII Man appears in, basically he appears in all of the games, except for number 5 when when the PETs are taken right at the beginning of the game, so we need to build a team. But in number 4 is one of my favorite stories from the Mega Man game, from that game. Basically, Dax really wants to fight Mega Man mano a mano in the first tournament of the game story. But in order to help him out, his brother XIII fakes a kidnapping in order to get Mega Man away from the battle, so that Dax will win by disqualification. However, the plan doesn't really go well when actual kidnappers show up and take XIII hostage. Dear Lord, you see, this is why sometimes little siblings need to just stay out of things. But the fight with XIII Man is really good. He'll throw his fist at you. XIII Man is basically the big brute of any Mega Man series. Basically. He's got his fist. He'll do his hammer strike. Will break up the grounds. And once you go on a panel and you leave, it will break. And you will need to wait for it to recover. So XIII Man will basically lead you, keep you at a distance. So he doesn't have to take damage. But at the same time, he doesn't really have that many long distance attacks. So if you just stay behind, or he'll basically won't be able to hit you. The reason I love Dax and XIII Man is that they both have the rivalry with Lan and Mega Man. It's that rivalry that I love in a character. And no matter how many times he loses, Dax refuses to give in until he beats Lan one time in a net battle. And that's why I kind of put them a little bit up. The synergy between them is real. And it's not something that any two characters can have. I mean, yeah, you can write two characters having that kind of chemistry. But if it's never shown in the game, or if it's not developed a lot in the game, then it's just complete fodder. And that's one reason they had the guts to go with these two. Wow, I really do need to get a writing staff, don't I? This one, I can't even stress enough how funny this was. Appearing in Mega Man Battle Network 5, Team ProtoMan, the one I played as a kid. Transformers roll out. I don't understand how they could do this. They put a Transformer in a Mega Man game. I'm not joking. I give you Gyro Man, and no, not Euro Man. I know I'm Greek. Don't even. We have Gyro Man and his operator, Charlie. And I do love this duo. Gyro Man has this kind of spunky, kind of carefree attitude about him, and so does Charlie. It's almost like Hot Rod a little bit from the original Transformers movie. It's or Hot Shot for those of you who are kind of into the newer ones. They're great. Not only that, but his abilities and his battle are fantastic. He'll send out a cyclone your way. He'll turn into his helicopter and drop bombs on you. He'll throw his propeller at you in the wide ring of the grid. I mean, I know there's not that much, but at the same time, it's fantastic. It's just enough. And when we're using him to liberate the Darkloid areas, he can go over he can transform into his chopper to go over the dark panels in order to gain a little bit of advantage and to bomb them from beneath in order to liberate the area quicker. I can't wait to replay these games, to relive my childhood on a big screen. Wow, I've said that a lot for a lot of games, but my point is that Charlie and Gyro Man definitely bring everything into top gear. Yeah, no joke there. They're just a really great fun boss fight, and they're a pretty good duo as well. On to the next. Okay, I know the joke's gonna come out almost right after I say this, but I was completely thrown for a loop with this one from Mega Man Battle Network 6. I was thrown for a loop. I honestly, you know what? I knew all along when I first played this. I knew all along of what was going to happen. Okay, yeah, that's a lie. And this kind of fits with the theme, because we were looking at the third boss of the game, and the one that shocked me the most in this game. Well, for one reason or another, we've got Judge Man, and I'm gonna go right into him. It's not the Judge Man from Yu-Gi-Oh! Get this guy out of here. Although I did love it when Johnson was him for the digital Cyberverse. Anyway, get it out of here. And this is the Judge Man I'm talking about. A dude made of books. And he's threatening. And he's intimidating. And he's powerful. And his operator, the guy who I didn't think would be a villain. I mean, I was a naive kid, and I thought it was going to be something else. But Prosecutor Ido, if I was ever to do a top 13 backstabbing in video games, this guy would be on the list. So, for summary, ladies and gentlemen, Lan's father was brought to Greentown in order to check on the judge tree, which is a computerized tree that acts as the judge for the town. And I swear to God, this town has more laws than Edna Strickland's 1985 of Back to the Future, the game. Yeah, they had laws where they didn't allow dogs, PDAs. Okay, when I say PDAs, I mean public displays of affection. No alcohol, no nothing, no fun. And this place has more laws that are more ridiculous. So, Lan's father is accused of hacking into the judge tree, which is a definite imprisoning offense. Right after Lan, I love how we actually had a trial somewhat in Mega Man, whereas in the second story, which was the aquarium thing, we are called as a witness for the trial of Blackbeard. Yes, seriously, they call him Blackbeard. I'm not doing the joke of One Piece or Black Flags or Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's just continue. And Prosecutor Ido basically says that he loves justice and he's wanted to be a prosecutor to put the bad guys away. And as a sap, Lan, Mega Man, and me fall for it when we're kids. Until we find evidence of someone who erased the footage of Lan's father working somewhere else when the tree was supposedly hacked. And just by sheer dumb luck, we find it's Prosecutor Ado, who is working for the new World 3, or WWW. Yeah, World 3 does sound better when you don't have to say WWW in every sentence that it's there. It gets irritating very fast, and I love this duo. I really do. Considering that their theme is justice, Ito being a prosecutor and Judge Man looking like a law book collection, the amount of synergy between these two is downright perfect. Not only that, but Judge Man is one of the few bosses that is not an elemental type. So it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to be fighting him on equal ground. Also, given the fact that his attacks are elemental itself, which I kind of like. During the boss fight, he'll have two monster books attacking you, going into different areas. He has an electro whip, which will stun you, which I think is pretty badass, that it's not a gavel attack. And he has a giant book that he will summon, which will flip through pages and release a certain amount of elemental attacks. It'll be bubbles to imprison you, a spit of fire, an electric ball to go down the aisles, or it will be a fist that will punch the ground and crack some panels. Judge Man is one of my favorite bosses in the network series because, okay, yeah, he doesn't have an elemental attribute, so you can't use certain chips to weaken him. But if you try using some of your cross souls that you have at the time, which would be either Heat, Aqua, Slash, or Tengu, two of those will be dispatched of immediately because he's got the water and electrical attack. So Judge Man may not be elemental, but he knows how to use elemental attacks to counter your strategies. Which, all honesty, if this was like if this was a themed boss in like another video game, imagine it. A non-elemental specific boss that uses elements in order to disrupt your strategies. That would be pretty cool. All I can say is they are guilty of being this close to being in the top 3. There are just 3 bosses that beat them out. The defense rests, and next witness. Okay, Mega Man fans are probably gonna hate me for where I'm putting this guy. I'm just getting a little bit of shielding, just so none of you will number 3, ProtoMan and Trod. There's no hate mail. There's no angry fans. Oh, thank God. Well, we'll wait to see in the comment section. Yeah, I'm putting Chod and ProtoMan on the 3rd spot of the list. Okay, I never do anything without a reason on this list. And this is threefold. 1, again, I never played 1, 2, or 3. So any fights with them during that, I can't attest to, because that's a part of my rules. If I haven't beaten them, or if I haven't played the games, or if I haven't beaten that boss fight, I can't say anything about it. Those are the rules. Okay, so 1, Chod and ProtoMan, I know from the anime, and I know the rivalry between him and Lan and Mega Man. And ProtoMan is basically a Spencer's version of what Mega Man is being Forever 21. Okay, why did I use clothing stores as a comparison there? I don't know. But you guys know what I mean. Mega Man's more of the junior department, where ProtoMan is the men's department. And also his sword arm is pretty badass. So one, I know the rivalry with them because of the anime. In the games, I've only fought ProtoMan at once in Blue Moon or Red Sun. I can't remember which one. During the battle, during the third tournament. But again, it's random, so I can't have a lot of memories. But I was able to do it with ProtoMan throughout Mega Man 5 Team ProtoMan. And where I even got to use him and see how much they've grown and how much Chad has grown as well. And I do love that fact that throughout the game we see characters develop. I just can't wait to play the first, second, third game and actually beat them, hopefully next year when the game comes out. Now, secondly, the battles are pretty basic. Well, not basic, but pretty much similar. ProtoMan will sidestep attacks. He'll use a shield to counter. He'll go right up to you and do his Delta Strike, which is pretty freaking badass. And piloting him in number 5, you do get the sense of ProtoMan's fighting style by using his shield and his special moves. And 3, though he wasn't fightable in number 6, the fact of, you know what, I'm going to leave that part secret for the game. Let's just say they make a big surprise entrance, and it's so badass when they do. Yeah. But ProtoMan and Chad are on the third section of the list because the people at the top in the number 2 and 1 spot, I keep them more in my heart and how much I really love them as Mega Man characters. And in contrast, Chad and ProtoMan are the best of the best. But I've known a lot of people to put them on the top of the list for the same reasons I just said. But let's get to the second one because we've got something hot for you. Yeah, just from saying that, a bunch of people could know my favorite villain from the anime, well, one of my favorite human characters from the anime, and my favorite duo, it is Mr. Match. I love this dude. I love Mr. Match so much. I really do. Because no matter what game he's in, it looks like he's gone straight from the third game. And then I fought him in the fourth game with Fireman. Again, why they not change it to Torchman? It's a lot cooler. Where he is fixing the hot dog stand of the woman outside the tournament because he kind of likes her, which I really enjoy. But he's really planning on taking the tournament hall hostage, which, yeah, we all knew he wasn't going to change. But right before the battle starts, the hot dog lady is there, and Match suddenly has a change of heart and starts to call off the fight. Starts to call off the plan, which I really enjoy. Even though Match has always been a bad guy, this section in number 4 shows that he can change. Because he was going to call it off just because a woman he liked is in the audience and he didn't want her to get hurt. And then we get to fight in the end. But no, that was all filler. I'm talking about him and Heat Man. This dude is nuts. He's wacky and I love it. I love his design, him being basically a sentient lighter with his 2 hands with the flames all over. It's so badass. I like him a hell of a lot better than Fireman and Flame Man for that matter. Flame Man is a boss fight in number 3. I can't wait to fight him. So he is the first guy in Battle Network 6, Gregor, in our new school. He is a new substitute teacher. And yeah, when we see him, we know he's up to no good. But no, he's actually turned over a new leaf and actually wanted to be a teacher. And I really like that. And his battle and his lesson is to use Heat Man to wield the power of fire by finding cyber kettles throughout the area and basically fighting them by using only fire chips. I mean, yeah, you can use his charge attack to do fire, but it's not going to be enough. And his special attack, I love it. Where he goes into his lighter, he presses onto them, and creates fire. I love that. The battle with him and Heat Man are really enjoyable. Even though it's not really a story, okay, it is a story based, and you can fight them again whenever you want, and you can even control Heat Man throughout the game. The reason I love this version, this section with Mr. Match, as opposed to maybe Game 1, Game 3, Game 4, again, I never played 1 and 3, but I have fought him in number 4, is the evolution of the character. As much as Mr. Match has been a villain in the first couple installments, he has changed for the better. In number 4, he called off a plan because he wanted to change and he didn't want to have the woman see him as a villain. And I get that. In number 6, he's fully integrated as being a good guy. And I love that about Mr. Match. Not only that, but he has evolved throughout the game as well as his net navies. From Fireman to Flame Man to back to Fireman and then to Heat Man. Heat Man being my favorite of his net navies. It's definitely something that is overlooked a lot in a lot of the games. And again, there is that synergy with Heat Man and Match that shows that their flame burns brighter even in the games, like throughout the games. I mean, you guys know what I mean. He's evolved through so much, so his net navi had to evolve too. And I really enjoy it. Well, Mr. Match, you will always be one of my favorites. But there's one guy, there's one net navi and one operator that rank above all the others. And this guy I met in the last 2 installments of the game. Hit it. I salute you, Colonel. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am talking about the biggest badass that is basically Circus Man mixed with ProtoMan, throwing a giant cannon in there. And you got Colonel and his operator Barrel. These two are enigmas right from the get-go in Game 5. Unless you play Team Barrel, which I would love to do. Yeah, you know what? When I get the remastered games, I'm going to play Team Colonel. Yeah. Because I spent years playing number 5. So, I mean, Team ProtoMan. So, I'm going to switch it up. Colonel is basically a military weapon in Navi form, and that is a badass thing. His blade, he can strike super quick and basically cut anything. His arm can turn into a big mega buster cannon. He will have soldiers coming out of the ground attacking you, if I recall. And the fact that he appears near the end of Game 5, because I got to the final boss of that, but I never really beat it. So, Game 5, he is absolutely a badass. I hated fighting him because I knew I was going to get my ass kicked. And then it's number 6. He returns after the fifth villain is defeated, and it's quite a shock. Barrel and Colonel have this synergy, somewhat like Rika and Circus Man, but also like Chad and ProtoMan, there's that commander mentality and soldier mentality, but also companions and friends. And I really enjoy that synergy about them. And the fact that throughout the game of number 6, we are constantly being asked why they're helping Wily. And then it's revealed, again, Wily was basically his adopted father. Yay. So that's why he's been helping World 3 in the 5th and the 6th game. And again, the boss fights are badass. Some of the hardest ones I've ever had to play in the game. But what gets them at the top of the list is basically the story within number 6. The fact that Colonel wasn't always obey kind of soldier. He had good intentions, basically, as a net navvy. But that was stripped away to become another net navvy, Iris, in the main game. And she becomes the main focus of the sixth game, of the final game. And basically, they are the operating system of how to control the Psy Beasts. And I'm going to admit, I cried when I was a kid when I beat that game. Because in the end, Colonel and Iris merged back in together in order to defeat the final Cyber Beast, basically whichever one you are using throughout the playthrough. And they sacrificed themselves. It was a tearjerker. That's one thing I really love about Colonel and Beryl. Even though they have, aside from the fifth game, they get no big screen time, not a lot of development, but at the same time, their actions are understood because they're being forced to do so. And I really love that kind of mentality for Beryl. And he gets betrayed by the World 3 traitors and is outnumbered. And I do love that no matter what he tries to do, he's still human. He won't risk something if it's going to put people in harm's way, especially land. Because I kind of see in the scenes of number 6 kind of a big brother mentality a little bit, or that, you know what I mean? Because Beryl is older than a majority of the other main characters, and that's one thing I love about them. The fact that Beryl is one of the few adult characters in the game that is actually using a net navy for good, but at the same time he's using it for bad. And him and Colonel, it's this military morality thing. Either do as you're told and you'll get what you want, or fail me and you're basically done. These two get so high on the list because of their amazing stature, their amazing boss fight, their amazing connection. And again, they have an actual physical connection to the main story plot of number 6. I just can't wait to play the story as 5 and learn a bit more about them. Because I know bits. Because, yeah, I played Team ProtoMan and Beryl and Colonel were still in there in the game. But I can't wait to learn more about this amazing duo, and they definitely earned the top spot of this list. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of my list. Time to jack out. Hope you enjoyed this Mega Man list. Like, comment, subscribe down below, and join me next week, ladies and gentlemen, where I end the month with some fantastic Fruit Warriors. Does that sound stupid? And I don't care. Join me next week as I end the month with some Fruit Warriors. Did I repeat myself? Damn it, Video Man! I'll find a way to get rid of him. This is Gamer K, logging out.